Joey's pancake scheme. Joey Tribbiani's love of food is legendary, but one fan theory suggests he took his pancake obsession to manipulative extremes. The theory centers on the Season 7 episode, the one with Ross's library book, where Joey has a one-night stand with a woman named Erin and asks Rachel to break up with her over pancakes. This seems innocent enough until you consider that Chandler previously made breakup pancakes when he lived in the apartment, establishing a precedent Joey was well aware of. Despite not being able to cook himself, Joey adores pancakes and has enough soap opera money to hire actors. The plot takes a twist when Erin becomes clingy, then suddenly dumps Joey instead. Rachel makes Joey pancakes to cheer him up, and his response is telling. He says, "Finally," with an emphasis that suggests he'd been waiting for this exact moment. A Reddit user proposed the theory that Joey hired Erin as an actress to manipulate Rachel into cooking for him, orchestrating an entire elaborate scheme just to get free pancakes. This theory transforms Joey's perceived simple-mindedness into calculated genius, demonstrating how fans can reinterpret even minor plot points through the lens of character motivations and turn a straightforward sitcom subplot into an elaborate con game. Gunther's reserved table. Ever wonder how the Friends gang always got the best couch at Central Perk in one of the busiest cities on Earth? Central Perk is a coffee shop in densely populated New York City, yet the gang always has the prime orange couch available. A fan theory emerged from a simple observation. A reserved sign is visible on the coffee table in multiple episodes, and a fan theory that emerged on Reddit suggests Gunther, the Central Perk manager, reserved the table specifically for Rachel. Gunther's well-established crush on Rachel throughout the series provides clear motivation. By reserving the couch, he ensured Rachel always had a seat so he could see her daily. James Michael Tyler, the actor who played Gunther, responded to the theory in a 2019 Radio Times interview, saying he remembered seeing the reserve sign, but it never really occurred to him why it was there, though it makes a lot of sense in retrospect. Tyler noted he didn't personally place the sign, likely crediting set designers or writers, and acknowledged there are a lot of little Easter eggs throughout the show. This theory adds a bittersweet layer to Gunther's unrequited love story, suggesting he was quietly facilitating Rachel's happiness in the background throughout the entire series, transforming a minor set detail into evidence of persistent, unspoken devotion. The umbrella curse. Ross and Rachel's tumultuous relationship might have been doomed from the very first moment they met, literally cursed by an umbrella. A theory posted on Reddit focuses on the pilot episode's opening scene. On September 22, 1994, Rachel arrives at Central Perk in her wedding dress after running from her wedding to Barry. Monica introduces Rachel to the group for the first time, and when Ross goes to greet her, he's so nervous his umbrella accidentally opens indoors. Popular superstition holds that opening an umbrella inside brings 7 years of bad luck, and the theory proposes this cursed Ross and Rachel's relationship for exactly 7 years. The timeline evidence is eerily precise. The pilot aired September 22, 1994, and Rachel's pregnancy is revealed in the Season 7 finale, airing May 17, 2001, and Ross learns he's the father in the Season 8 premiere that aired September 27, 2001, approximately 7 years later. During those 7 years, they experienced failed relationships, the infamous break, Ross sleeping with the copy girl, jealousy, and constant miscommunication. After the curse theoretically lifts, Rachel becomes pregnant with Ross's baby. This theory offers a supernatural explanation for their will-they-won't-they dynamic that frustrated viewers for years, though it also problematically removes accountability from Ross and Rachel for their relationship failures, which really stemmed from jealousy, possessiveness, and poor communication rather than mystical bad luck. Phoebe the Puppet Master. Phoebe Buffay appears to be the ditzy, eccentric member of the group, but what if it's all an act, and she's actually the smartest person in the room? A Reddit theory that gained prominence around 2015 suggests Phoebe is a laid-back genius with almost zero ambition, who amuses herself by orchestrating situations behind the scenes. In the episode immediately following Rachel giving birth, Phoebe literally calls herself the puppet master of the group, providing a smoking gun self-awareness that launched this entire theory. The evidence is extensive. In the episode where Heckles dies, Phoebe nearly convinces Ross that evolution is flawed, leaving him befuddled before she laughs and says that was fun, revealing she was messing with him for entertainment. Phoebe speaks multiple languages fluently, including French and Italian, despite never attending high school. She tricks Chandler into admitting his relationship with Monica alongside Rachel and Joey. Phoebe and Joey intentionally set Ross and Rachel up on terrible dates to push them together. She kept insisting Ross still loved Rachel, influencing his decision not to annul their marriage in Season 6. She introduces Monica to a cheese guy she calls her soulmate, just to mess with her. The Vegas trip was Phoebe's idea, which led to Monica and Chandler moving in together and Ross's third marriage. She walked in on Chandler picking an engagement ring and subtly influenced Monica to get on the museum waiting list. She suggested switching apartments back while the guys watched a game. A video essay by Screen Prism explored how Phoebe serves as the mystery ingredient that keeps the gang together. This theory completely reframes Phoebe's character from lovable weirdo to master manipulator playing four-dimensional chess with her friends' lives, using insights from her street smarts and survival skills from homelessness to read people and situations while keeping everyone underestimating her. Ross has Asperger's. Ross Geller's quirks might be more than just personality. Fans have noticed he displays multiple traits associated with autism spectrum disorder. Reddit and fan community observations, including from people on the autism spectrum themselves, point to extensive evidence. Ross is academically brilliant with a PhD in paleontology and is intensely obsessed with science, dinosaurs, and specific topics. He's socially awkward despite his intelligence, frequently missing social cues and sarcasm. He moves with an unusual gait and physical mannerisms, perfectly exemplified in the pivot scene. He displays sensory issues, thinking ice cream is too cold. He's prone to impulsive decisions and obsessive tendencies, and his outbursts border on meltdown behavior, like his sandwich breakdown and the spray tan machine incident. He's very literal and pedantic, constantly correcting others' grammar. Fans note Ross manages to live a decent life with friends and a good job despite his oddities. He was never diagnosed or referenced as autistic in the show, which aired in the 1990s when there was less autism awareness. This theory offers a compassionate reframing of Ross's most irritating behaviors. Rather than being a controlling jerk, he might be struggling with undiagnosed neurodivergence in an era before such understanding was common, though it's important to note this is fan interpretation projecting modern understanding onto 1990s character writing. Carol's sperm donor plan. Ross's son Ben shouldn't exist according to the show's timeline, unless Carol had a very specific plan. A major timeline plot hole exists in the Flashback episode from Season 3, set exactly 1 year before the pilot. The Flashback episode from Season 3 is set in 1993, around the time Ross and Carol's relationship was ending, with Carol already involved with Susan. But Ben is announced in the pilot in 1994, meaning conception occurred after Ross knew Carol was a lesbian. Ross explicitly states that Carol and he had some great times before she was a lesbian, and one time after. The theory suggests Carol deliberately slept with Ross one final time to conceive Ben. An alternative interpretation is that Carol offered one last try to see if the marriage could work. Reddit discussions suggest Carol may have discussed having a child with Susan and used Ross as a sperm donor without his full understanding. Some fans call this emotional abuse toward Ross. Pregnancy tests show positive 2 to 3 weeks after conception, and the timeline matches this scenario. This theory attempts to explain a significant plot hole in Friends' continuity, casting Carol in a manipulative light and adding complexity to Ross's later issues with trust and relationships, though it adds a dark undertone to their otherwise light co-parenting relationship. By the way, if this is your kind of content, I post videos like this all the time. I'd really appreciate if you subscribed. Monica's secret father. Judy Geller's obvious favoritism toward Ross over Monica might stem from a dark family secret. The theory suggests Monica is the product of Judy Geller's extramarital affair and not Jack Geller's biological daughter. The evidence cited focuses on Judy's behavior throughout the series. She consistently criticizes Monica while praising Ross, making cutting comments about Monica's weight, career choices, and life decisions. Ross is inexplicably treated as a genius and favorite despite being similarly flawed. A fan theory proposes that Judy's harsh treatment stems from shame over an affair, with Monica representing a constant reminder of Judy's infidelity, while Ross is the legitimate child, explaining the preferential treatment. The theory suggests this guilt manifests as displaced anger toward Monica. This theory provides a psychological explanation for one of the show's most uncomfortable running jokes, adding a tragic dimension where Monica isn't just the unfavored child, but evidence of infidelity. However, there's no actual evidence for this beyond Judy's behavior, which could simply be old-fashioned sexism or personality clash. Chandler's apartment quiz cheat. The iconic apartment switch might have been the result of Chandler's calculated deception rather than fair competition. In the Season 4 episode, the one with the embryos, a trivia game between friends escalates when the stakes move from cash to Monica and Rachel betting their apartment versus Chandler and Joey getting rid of their rooster and duck. Early in the episode, Chandler and Joey correctly guess the contents of Rachel's shopping bag. Joey guesses apples first, then 2 more items correctly, and Chandler then guesses cans of soda, also correct. A Reddit theory suggests Chandler looked in the bag when he walked over to Ross during a game show impression. The evidence shows Chandler approaches Ross to tell him to stop his annoying host behavior, conveniently positioning himself near the bag. He uses logic to guess Scotch tape, knowing they used theirs up the night before making scary faces. But he could have glimpsed the soda in the large bag and added it to the pile with other known items. The The motivation makes sense. Chandler wanted the bigger apartment and knew Monica's competitiveness would escalate the bet, which she indeed does multiple times during the game. This theory transforms one of Friends' most beloved episodes into a story of manipulation, though it becomes complicated when considering Monica initiated the apartment bet, meaning Chandler would have to predict her escalation perfectly. Ross lost custody. Ross's son Ben vanished from Friends without explanation after Season 8, and one dark theory suggests it wasn't a scheduling conflict. Ben Geller first appears in Season 1, Episode 23, titled The One with the Birth. Ben is a recurring character in Seasons 1 through 8, appearing in approximately 20 episodes total. His final appearance is Season 8, Episode 12, the one where Joey dates Rachel. Ben never meets his half-sister Emma on screen, despite her birth in Season 8. The blog What Would Bale Do proposed in 2015 that Ross lost custody to Carol and Susan. Evidence cited includes Ross's increasingly disturbing behavior over the seasons. Ross sleeps with a student named Elizabeth, tries to hook up with his own cousin, and asks a self-defense instructor to scare his female friends. He exhibits jealousy and possessiveness throughout relationships. The Season 5 episode, the one with Ross's sandwich, shows a breakdown and meltdown over lunch. The theory suggests Carol reached a breaking point and challenged Ross for full custody. Ross's professional responsibilities, plus time with friends, wouldn't leave much room for fatherhood. Ben's sporadic appearances suggest the audience saw nearly every moment Ross spent with him. Cole Sprouse, the actor who played Ben, has jokingly acknowledged the character's disappearance in interviews, commenting on Ross's parenting. The real explanation is that Cole and his twin Dylan Sprouse were cast in Disney's Sweet Life of Zack and Cody in 2005, and production chose not to recast Ben. This is one of the darkest Friends theories, transforming Ross's Flanderization from comedic exaggeration to tragic character deterioration, offering an in-universe explanation that actually makes sense given Ross's behavior, and suggesting his escalating issues with Rachel and Emma might stem from losing Ben. The entire show is a flashback. Every episode title beginning with "The One Where" or "The One With" might be more than a stylistic choice. It could indicate the entire series is told in retrospect. A Reddit theory suggests the entire Friends series is flashback narration. The episode naming convention, "The One Where" and "The One With" suggests a storytelling format, implying someone looking back and recounting stories. Celebrity references don't match appearances either. Sean Penn is mentioned in dialogue and then appears on the show. Julia Roberts plays Susie Moss before the movie Erin Brockovich exists, but Amy mentions Erin Brockovich later. The theory proposes the characters are remembering fictionalized versions of real people they encountered. This would explain numerous continuity errors and timeline inconsistencies throughout the series, and why busy professionals in expensive New York City have unrealistic amounts of free time. The theory suggests memories embellish and romanticize their actual lives, though it doesn't specify who is narrating or when they're looking back. This meta-theory attempts to explain Friends' many inconsistencies by suggesting unreliable narration, similar to "it was all a dream" theories, but less dismissive of events, though this wasn't the producer's intention, and most plot holes stem from typical sitcom continuity laziness rather than clever narrative framing. Phoebe is a CIA spy. Phoebe Buffay's mysterious past and bizarre skill set might hide her true profession as a Cold War spy. A comprehensive Reddit theory compiled evidence from throughout the series. Phoebe claims to be unsure of her actual age, a classic spy tactic for hiding identity. She states she can't get a passport, a cover story to avoid travel documentation. She's been in jail and mentions having a big rap sheet. She uses multiple aliases throughout the show, including Regina Phalange, Princess Consuela Banana Hammock, IKEA, and Peehee. Regina Phalange becomes a series-running gag used whenever Phoebe needs a false identity. She mentions missile training in passing. She speaks multiple languages fluently, including English, French, and Italian, all valuable spy skills. The theory suggests she lived in Czechoslovakia during the Cold War era based on her mysterious international past. She dated a foreign diplomat she met at the United Nations while giving massages. Part-time massage therapy wouldn't earn enough income for Manhattan living expenses. Her boyfriend Gary, a police officer, discovers really weird stuff in Phoebe's file that she prohibits him from sharing. The theory suggests her twin sister Ursula could be useful for creating confusion and might even be part of her recruitment. An extensive version of this theory suggests Phoebe acted increasingly quirky to get removed from spy duties and must maintain eccentric behavior as cover to stay retired from intelligence work, explaining her horrifying art, dating her sister's stalker, and bizarre Central Park running style. This elaborate theory recontextualizes Phoebe's entire character as a deep cover operation, making every weird Phoebe moment suddenly strategic misdirection to maintain a mentally unstable cover, preventing recall to active duty. Monica taught Chandler. Monica might have accidentally trained her future husband to be her perfect lover before they ever got together. In the Season 4 episode, The One with Phoebe's Uterus, which aired in November 1997, Chandler is dating Kathy and struggling with intimacy. He asks Rachel, Phoebe, and Monica for help understanding women's bodies. Monica teaches Chandler about 7 erogenous zones with a diagram, explaining the specific sequence and technique, telling him to take his time, hit them all, and mix them up. This leads to the iconic 7-7-7 scene. Immediately after, Kathy runs into Monica's apartment, enthusiastically thanking Monica. Kathy and Chandler's improved intimacy is confirmed on screen. Monica and Chandler get together in London just months later in May 1998. In Season 5, Monica tells Phoebe her secret boyfriend is the best she's ever had. In a later episode, Chandler says to Monica, "If I am the best, it's only because you made me the best." A Reddit theory suggests Chandler memorized Monica's specific preferences and practiced on Kathy and others, so by the time they sleep together, Chandler has perfected Monica's ideal technique. Unlike most theories on this list, this one is essentially confirmed by Chandler's own dialogue. Monica literally created her perfect lover by accident, teaching him exactly what she wanted before they were romantically involved, demonstrating how fans notice callbacks and connections across seasons that writers may or may not have intended. If you found this interesting, consider subscribing so you don't miss future uploads. Thanks for watching.